Good evening, everybody, and welcome to James C. Starke Radio. We are coming to you live from Tempe Marketplace, sitting right outside the stage that this next band is going to be performing on July 19th. Are you guys ready? Guess who's with me tonight? I've got Stereo Rex with me right here on the station. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Not too bad. Doing good.
Rex, it's good to see you again, man. It's always good to see you.
Absolutely.
Why don't you introduce these guys?
Well, over below me right here, we got Brian Linder. We call him Crunch. Right over here, we got Brian Hoke. We call him Boom. And over to my right, we've got Paul Birch. He's Crash.
So, this is awesome, man. Now, we got two Brians here. We got Brian with the Y and Brian with an I. So we just call him Crash and Shish Kebab and all that other stuff instead? Or
Crunch and Boom.
There we go.
That's the reason why we got the album the way it was. We were trying to figure out, me and Paul were trying to figure out what we were going to do with these two guys because they both have the same name. So we were trying to figure out some sort of a nickname. We got that, and then we started calling him. Paul started getting all jealous and saying,
"Where's my name?
Where's my name?" So we
gave me Crash.
We named him Crash, so that's where Crunch, Crash, Boom came from.
Oh, there you go, man. You guys sound like a drumming quartet now.
He hits those,
there you go.
He hits those crash cymbals real hard.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. So tell me, how did this all start?
Well, how this all started. Basically, it was, what year was that? 2013. Actually, it was December 2012. Me and Paul were over at a friend's birthday party and just hanging out and talking. They started asking if I had any new songs. So we went into our friend Dan's room and started playing. I started playing a song, The One I'll Never Know, that's off our EP.
Okay.
And about a week later, Paul gave me a call and said, we got to start something. He really liked the song, so we started working on that, and that's pretty much how the band built themselves.
That's how it's built. That's really cool, man. How long have you guys been together now?
2013. With these guys all together, 2015.
Okay, very cool.
I responded to a Craigslist ad.
Oh, that was an awesome ad.
It was.
Oh, tell me about this ad. Now you didn't tell me it's awesome. You got to tell me about it now. Everybody's
so-
listening now. Like, come on, Rex, tell us.
So I'm
Somebody tell
looking.
us.
I'm looking through Craigslist, looking for.
And who are you?
I'm Boom.
Okay.
The Boominator. So I'm looking through Craigslist, looking for my next gig. I had left the last band I was with. It's been about 6 months, and I was itching to play. And I come across this ad. A bunch of middle-aged guys with day jobs, kids and grandkids with no
Mortgage.
no delusions of grandeur to be a rock star. And I'm like, well, that sounds like me. So I responded, auditioned, and one night at Pranksters, we were on stage, and Rex proposed to me.
Nice.
And it was literally a proposal.
He got on his knees and asked if I would be his bass player.
Oh, how sweet, Rex.
Cute.
Did you play hard to get at first, or did you?
No, I just play hard.
Oh, there you go. Right on. All right. I'm not even going to go there. Because everybody already did, so I have nothing to say there. Last time I saw you guys was Black Canyon City 3 months ago. Concert in the Canyons. That was really cool. I haven't seen you since, so I know you guys had a little setback. Somebody had a hand issue. What happened, Brian? What did you do, man?
I had a hand surgery, and they had to go in, and I had a nerve that was covered with some built-up tissue, which I couldn't make a fist. And while they were in there, they did a carpal tunnel release, and now it's still a little tender, but I can play now, so you're good to go.
Now, the next show is the one I said in the beginning. Your next show is July 19th.
Yes.
Right here, Tempe Marketplace, right outside of what we have over here.
Dave & Buster's.
Dave & Buster's, and it's like right outside Dave & Buster's. Yeah, right
literally.
outside. Yeah, it's a really cool stage, you guys. Really neat. Come on out here.
One thing to Crunch's credit there, he was playing with us gigs. The guy could barely make a fist and hold his pick, and
I was dropping picks.
He was. I mean, I don't know how he did it, but he must have plowed through 4 or 5 gigs, those last couple gigs there in like excruciating pain. But that's just a testament to his.
You're a warrior, man.
He's my hero.
right.
Definitely. But you're all healed up and ready to go now.
That's right.
Feeling. I know you said it's a little stiff, but we're.
Yep, Steve Austin, $6 million man. He's got the bionic hand now.
That is great, man. I want to go back and talk to you guys a little bit about that concert you did up at the Canyons. You're helping raise money for the veterans cause there.
Yes.
And I heard they raised something like $19,000.
Yeah,
That
almost
whole thing.
$19,000 was raised.
That was amazing. That was for the veterans' families.
It was
And the kids.
Catrano's Arizona Troop Run. What they do is they raise money to help the educational needs for the families of wounded and fallen veterans.
That's amazing. He's doing a good job out there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I know they have that coming up again in February of next year, too. That's going to be really good. Hopefully we'll see you guys there again.
Call Aaron Catrano, tell him you want us back on the bill.
There you go. You guys heard it. So tell me some of your influences. Really quick before I answer that, your songs are so cool. There's a lot in all of them, and they're all a little bit different. So I can't really nail it down like a single genre. It's definitely in the rock and roll scene for sure. But it's just cool. It's like a lot of old school stuff in there, a lot of new stuff. It's really cool. So tell me about some of your influences. Where does this sound come from?
The sound actually comes from 4 different guys. My personal influences, Rex here. My personal influences, I love Shinedown. Brent Smith, that guy's got an amazing vocals. That guy's my hero. And Alice in Chains. Those are the 2 main ones I try to put my writing abilities into. Is kind of what would Brent write, and how would Lane Staley sing it.
Okay.
And just kind of work my voice with that.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Bri?
My guitar influences probably Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Slash, Zakk Wylde. There's just too many. Adam Jones from Tool. There's too many. The guitar player from Deftones. Just too many to list.
Yeah, it's great shout-outs though for those guys. That's awesome. How about you, bud?
Well, for me, I'm still kind of stuck in the 80s hair metal scene, and the British invasion of heavy metal. For me, my biggest is Steve Harris from Iron Maiden.
He is amazing.
The guy, he is very, very amazing. Geddy Lee from Rush, Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, to name a couple. The late great Phil Kennemore from Y&T was one of my. He was one that I tried to style myself towards in my playing style. So, there's more, but those are my basic guys.
Yeah, that's a decent route, man. That's for sure. How about you, Crash?
So, I'm also a big 80s kid. Love all the 80s hair metal bands, that sort of thing. Alex Van Halen, anything Van Halen related. David Lee Roth era, of course, is the bomb. I know he gets... Yeah, you're right. He gets a bad rap, especially from a lot of drummers, because they think he's a hack and he's not that good. But I think Tommy Lee is awesome. It's more than just the technical proficiency. I think it's, he's putting on a show. The guy's like entertaining and fun to watch. So I love that guy. Yeah.
Let's listen to what this stuff sounds like all together. First song we're going to play here. Rex, why don't you introduce us? Tell us a little about that.
Here's a little story. The first song is Grand Slam. Basically, this song came up where Crunch started writing, came up with this little riff, and Paul Crash over here decided a former band of ours, mine and Crash's, I was booted out of the band, and how I was let go, we all went to Denny's. So Paul constantly asked me to write a song about Denny's. So
we did. And that
we wrote a song about Denny's.
But he's giving me too much credit, Rex. You're gonna get me in trouble. So the song is kind of telling the story of that experience from Rex's perspective of being kicked out of a band at Denny's. Grand Slam breakfast.
Wow, here we go. Check it out, you guys. Grand Slam from Stereo Rex.
Order up.
That empty night, you took me for a ride. The smoke you blew, I never knew I was blind. Would have never guessed. My pride is all that's left. Your innocent eyes, you're just a killer inside. It's my despair, the sickness in the air. Trapped in a rage, I'll never be the same. Looking down on me, tell me what you see. Look me in the eye, smile and say goodbye. Moving on, moving on. Let me out the door before I put you to the floor. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Hit the ground running, never looking back. I'm moving on. Come on. Now I see what you took from me. Two-faced savior, turn away from me. Finding all I've lost, no matter what the cost. Never be a slave, cut the chains and walk away. Moving on, moving on. Let me out the door before I put you to the floor. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Hit the ground running, never looking back. I'm moving on. Moving on, moving on. Get me out the door before I put you to the floor. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Hit the ground running, never looking back. I'm moving on, moving on, hey, moving on. Let me out the door before I put you to the floor. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Hit the ground running, never looking back. I'm moving on. Come on.
Welcome back, you guys. We're here out in Tempe Town Marketplace with Stereo Rex. Woo-hoo! All right, you guys. Tell me a little bit about your future goals. You got another album in the making? I know you got a couple tunes you're telling me about that are ready.
Yep, we've got a new song. We've actually been playing a song called
Hang On.
Hang On. We wrote it and decided to start playing it. It's another one that's completely different than what we've been writing. It's a very kind of poppy, journey-ish, but it's catchy. I've got, when we played it, the first time we played it was at Marquee Theater, and we started getting a whole lot of people singing along with us.
Nice.
So it's a
Those are
very
the fun
good
ones,
sing-along
yeah.
song. It's a very fun song. So we're getting into writing that one. We've got 5 or 6 other ones kind of like halfway in the makings.
Yeah.
So we're working on that.
They have interim titles right now.
Yep, interim titles. I would say the first quarter of 2020, we should have some songs recorded and released and set up for you guys.
Now, how do you guys approach your writing process? Who does what? Are you guys all bringing it in together? Does somebody come up with an idea and you share it? Like, tell us how you do it.
Well, I'll go from where we started. What we started with is I used to write the songs from front to back, write everything, lyrics and that, and Crunch over here would work on fills and redo it and revamp it to where it was a little thicker, a little heavier. I'm more of an acoustic guy, so he'd make it a little thicker and heavier. But now it's gotten to the point to where his music, what he's playing, what he sound, we've developed a camaraderie, I guess. He plays it, I can follow along with what he's doing. I've got a
feeling each other
melody in
now.
mind right away.
Yeah, you're in that same
we're
groove now. You've
reading
been-
each other really
I'll
well.
introduce something, or when we're practicing, or I'll record something on my phone, and I'll send it to the guys and see if they like it or no. Maybe in a couple days I'll be like, no, let's throw that one out. But I keep sending ideas.
Okay.
That's usually how a song starts.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have stuck. You know,
Actually, most of them is stuck. The ones we've actually put off to the side to throw out, we brought back. Leech was one of them. That was a very hard song to work with.
Worked on that one for a long time.
We worked on that one for over a year.
Sometimes you got to put it back. Sometimes you run into that wall, and you don't really want to throw it away, because there might be something in that you can use later, you know, and you come back to it. I've done that before. I had like 3 songs, couldn't finish any of them, and then one day they all just came together in one song, you know. So sometimes that works. You take pieces of everything, and it just kind of falls
Then
around.
then you get some songs that, like we did a song, The Storm, or Dirty Sexy off that album. Nothing was written. We're just in the room, and we're like, "Hey, Crunch, play a riff," and it just that in one night, it like just comes. You hear bands all the time talk about that one song or 2 songs that just like it's like magically just happened.
Yeah,
Like meant to be kind of thing. We had a couple of moments like that.
Yeah,
Storm,
Dirty Sexy came up in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He was like, Crunch, come up with a riff, and he came up with that dun, dun, dun,
Started with the wall.
riff, and that just kind of.
We're like, oh, that sounds like a stripper song.
Dirty Sexy is the next one on our list. And before you tell me about this song, I got to go back a little bit. All these goofy little things you hear in this, the little, what should we call them? Your little dramatic pieces beforehand, your spoken parts. Those are hilarious. And you guys also, their videos are awesome. You got to check them out because they really tell the cool story. See the video for Grand Slam, like they were saying. That's great. Who wants to tell me the story of Dirty Sexy here? And if you guys want to say anything about the videos real quick, please jump in, because I can only give you so much justice. I mean, you guys, it's wonderful, but there's a story behind this one.
Well, Crash
so
is the expert on that.
On which one?
Yeah, Crash makes all the videos. don't
Well,
you?
yeah. So I'm kind of the video guy. So, I mean, not to go backwards, but Grand Slam, I think, is kind of like the masterpiece in just that, from a production standpoint. I mean, we had extras. I mean, it was like a whole production, and it's just got this great, funny idea of aging rock stars, or, it's like you're too old to be rock stars. So we brought in like this young, cool band from Tucson that we met online to kind of, they're Minutes to Midnight. Give them a shout out in Tucson. They're awesome. They're a great band down in Tucson. But yeah, Dirty Sexy. I mean, it's just it's a stripper song. Rex is probably better at telling the story on the audio part of it.
Yes, Rex. Tell us the story.
All right, well, here's the story. Basically, the song. Hey, watch that. Basically, the song. We wrote the music, and it came up quickly. Like I said, within 5 minutes, these guys had the music written. So we're like, okay, what are we going to come up? What are we going to write it about? What's a name? What do you want to call it? And Crunch over here said Dirty Sexy. And something just clicked in my head about writing about strippers, kind of like your
go-to?
Our girls, yeah, our go-to. I think Motley Crue, girls. So I started thinking of
Think about the
different
80s.
clubs, different names around here, and what would a person do when it comes to that? What
Well,
would
Bella
I
likes
do?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she loves the song. But what would
wants to hear it
thinking
already.
about of a guy that how they act when it comes to the women, the dancers, and all they're doing is making their money, and they're going to use you for their money, and that's how it works. That's their job. They sell themselves to make their money, but some drunk dude's always in love, and they're going to look everywhere they possibly can to find that one woman that she's going to marry me someday, and that's what this song's about.
Well, let's check it out.
That
This
would
is
be just my
Dirty Sexy from Stereo Rex.
Hear the call again, gather all my money, take a cut down to skin and bone. Palace is a place to see my little honey, and never take her home. Find the center stage, waiting for my baby, to see her moving against me high. My palms begin to sweat, my heart is beating heavy, when they hit the lights. Round and up and down she goes, finding my way, never gonna miss a show. Here she comes, sliding on in again, my friend. She takes you up high and she leaves you bone dry, but you bet your little ass I'll be coming back for more, yeah. Oh, I'm definitely coming back. Just gotta hit the cash box first. Treat you like a VIP just as long as money's flowing. That dirty, sexy shake will keep you begging for more. She's a kiss of death, but I love that pretty poison. She knocks you to the floor. Round and up and down she goes, finding my way, never gonna miss a show. Here she comes, sliding on in again, my friend. She takes you up high and she leaves you bone dry, but you bet your little ass I'll be coming back for more, yeah. Round and up and down she goes, finding my way, never gonna miss a show. Here she comes, sliding on in again, my friend. She takes you up high and she leaves you bone dry, but you bet your little ass I'll be coming back for more, yeah. I'll be coming back for more, yeah. Dirty, sexy shake, I'm your VIP. Yeah, my money's flowing. Baby, you're the kiss of death. that's it. Hey, wait, are those real?
Hands! Hands! No hands! No touching, asshole!
Hey, baby, I got a tip for you.
Security! He's touching me!
All right, Mr. PBR, you're done here. Let's go. Come on, you're out of here. Yeah, I'm sure she loves you too. All right, see you tomorrow night, Rex.
Freaking Rex, man, you get in more trouble. Who is this woman on here? Who is this woman on this recording? You got to tell me.
Well, so this is Crunch speaking right now. That was my wife, and that was recorded.
Was that at the bar she works at, or?
Oh no! That's I had to convince her to do this. I had to do a lot of things to get her to do this. Like, I can't go into it, but
I don't want to know what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd bribe her, let's just say that. And we recorded this from an SM57 mic off of my computer, and we sent it to the producer. And it just happened to go on the album.
We told her when you were recording this to just try to sound dirty and sexy, and she pulled it off nicely.
Nice.
Came out great.
But she's actually not dirty. She is sexy, but she's not dirty. She's a nice, wonderful lady.
Well, that's great. She has a great vocal
I
talent
can't
there.
speak to that.
Rip that one off of there. That was
Sings
really
pretty
cool.
good too. She comes up on stage and listens and sings a couple songs with us.
Now, Rex, I know you play a lot of acoustic stuff too when you're up on there grabbing that guitar sometimes. Do you have any side projects you're doing with that at all?
I'm actually working on that. I'm thinking about doing some little.
Bella's
just
your biggest
acoustic
fan. I'm sorry to cut, but she just keeps cutting.
I love you,
all
Bella. Thank you for yelling. I appreciate it. As long as I don't reach over there and you bite me.
I think Bella doesn't like it like we don't.
Bella's like anybody.
But I have some really good friends of mine that does some acoustic covers, and they go to the different bars every weekend, and that's what I'm starting to work on. And I've written a couple of songs that are kind of holding them into myself. I'm going to give them to the guys a little bit later and let them know what my intentions are on it, and see what they think, and see if they want to work with me on it.
Awesome, man. That's cool. I hope that works out because you play some really cool stuff up there.
I appreciate it.
So tell me, what's going through your head before you get up on that stage? I know I ask everybody this because it's one of my favorite questions. We all have our rituals and stuff, but tell me that first. What kind of rituals do we have right before we go up?
Shot a fireball.
Yep.
Shot
Honestly, what's going through our heads, and I think all of us have the same feeling, is we get really nervous at first. We start everybody gets the little bit of nerves. So whether it's 5 people or 5,000 people, you get that little bit of nerves in your system, trying to make sure you're wanting to take care of your fans and your friends. I hate saying fans, because everybody that we've ever met on that stage we've become friends with.
Absolutely. I agree.
When you're on there, you start to get a little bit nervous, and you start thinking about, how am I going to sing, or how am I going to play? Am I going to make any mistakes?
Is the equipment going to work?
Is the equipment going to work? What kind of feedback are you going to have? But then we all decide our little ritual. What we do is we get the fireball, get Jack Daniels, or whatever we want for a shot. And our first shot, and we say the same thing every time. Perfection is for the recording studio. Tonight, we're going to have fun.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. That's a really good one. And that's how it should be, yeah. Get in the studio to work, but get on that stage and have fun. That's absolutely it. Get everybody involved. What's going through your head, Crash, before you get on that stage? The last thing before you hit that count off on the drums to start the show?
I'm making sure that I took it just enough of a sip of Jack and Coke to numb my back, because usually when we're playing a 3-hour night, my back is killing me, but usually it's, I overpower, just the fun I'm having takes over the pain. It's like a sweet sour kind of thing.
Yeah, I can relate to that. We know how the pain is. How about you, big dog?
Boom here. For me, it's just kind of put everything out of my mind and just do what I do. I'm gonna make a mistake. Try not to let anybody know. I I used to actually telegraph my mistakes, but now we all know, but nobody out there does. So, and it happens. But, you know, we actually listened to some footage back from one of our marquee shows the other night, and we actually butchered one of our songs so badly, and we didn't know it at the time when we were playing it, but man, when we heard it back, it was like, whew.
Well, it's funny, the energy of the crowd, people, I think, I mean, there's two ways. Some people go see a band, right, and they want it to, it's great to see a polished, tight band that sounds great, but sometimes when you hear, I love going to see a band that I, like if I know their songs, like a Whitesnake or something, and, when they are hitting a bad note or if they're a little off or a little slow, I don't know, I think that gives that live, raw
kind of makes them human.
Yeah,
again.
it makes it, and it makes it more fun because especially when you could see them look at each other like, oh shit, did you see me fuck that up? And it's like you're part of, you can go and listen to the CD if you want to hear it sounding perfect, right?
Exactly.
When you go live, it's cool to see the raw
You get
experience.
the raw emotion, the raw sound.
And there's a lot of rawness with the Stereo Rex show, baby.
right.
Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, these guys are crazy.
It's all about the show.
These guys are crazy. What advice would you give the younger bands coming up and doing anything in this business at all, from performing to recording to anything? Any kind of advice, any do's or don'ts that you would be really clear on that you'd like to share? Help these guys out a little bit?
Have fun.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is my personal advice is stop trying to be the perfect musician. You have 500 people out there, 3 of them are actual musicians. Everybody else wants to hear a groove and they want to see a show. Just have a good time. Enjoy what you do. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. You have the band members you love. Don't take criticism. Do what you do and keep doing it. I'll be honest with it. The years that I've been in this industry, the years that I've been in the music business and the multiple bands I've been in, the very beginning, I wanted to make it. I wanted that record contract, and that was all my focus was on. And very little happened. Sometimes it came up. We had Geffen Records come and look at us, and they turned us down. I had Metal Blade Records look at us, and they turned us down. And that was a kick in the gut every time it happened. With this band, our focus and everything we said, we're going to have fun no matter what. We're in it for us. And more has happened with this band than any other band. Just have a good time. Enjoy what you do and don't worry about what anybody else does, what anybody else thinks. You're going to get your niche. The people that don't like you are going to walk away. The people that do like you are going to stay. You're going to slowly build your following that way.
Good advice. Very good advice.
I think something else, you want to be approachable. You're not, you don't have an entourage. If you're at a gig and somebody comes up and asks you to sign their CD, yeah, sign the CD. We sign so many CDs. In fact, we've probably given away more than we've sold, because, well, it gets our music out there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know what? That one person's going to have that CD, and they're going to share it with 2 or 3 people, and they're going to say, "Ooh, I want to hear that." So and so might want to hear that. So it just helps pass the music around.
That's great, man. And being approachable, that's an important thing. I say this a lot on the show. Everyone I've talked to and interviewed so far has been so awesome about making time to talk to everybody, as far as being at the shows and talking to the friends. We don't call them fans anymore, we call them friends. Thanks, Rex.
There you go.
And I do say this, I want to repeat it again. These 4 guys I'm sitting with right here are amazingly approachable, and they're just really cool, down-to-earth dudes. They're very cool. I'm going to ask everybody again, just always give the band a couple minutes when they get off that stage. Just let them go dry their faces, get a drink, use the bathroom, and especially Crash here, give him a second to move his drums. There might be another drummer who has to get his stuff on stage too, but I promise, give them 5 minutes and they will spend the rest of the day with you after that. Just let them unwind just for a little bit. You don't really want to talk to them right off the stage anyway because they're all wound up and just let them, give them 5 minutes. That's it. I know I say this on every show, but guys, I'm telling you, these guys are cool people. All these bands are, and just give them a second, and they're going to be with you all night. They're great people. So my next question, guys, is after you're doing all this work and everything, how do you relax after all this? How do you relax after a show or after a recording session or even after practice? What are you doing when you're not writing tunes to unwind?
Family, just hanging out with our family. As far as relaxing, when it comes to our music and what we're doing after shows, we're relaxing, just hanging out with the family. But we're always thinking of what we're going to do next, what we're writing, ideas. Everything's always coming up. There isn't a week goes by that somebody in this band isn't sending a text message about a new song or a new idea or a new something. We're always working.
Yeah, so you're relaxing. Kind of you're still writing when you're relaxing. It's part of your relaxing. Then.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's how I kind of feel like that. Sure. I was just curious. Everybody's like that. What do you have any message trying to convey to your friends through your music or anything? Is there any, I don't know, like one united thing we're trying to push for here, or are we just having fun? What are we doing?
Just feel good.
Feel good.
Listen, groove with the music, and have a good time.
One thing we haven't touched on is just the fact that Rex over here, the guy's an incredible songwriter. So, like, if you listen to our Crunch Crash Boom album, it's funny, I've heard people say that we are comparing us, right, to other bands. I've heard that we sound like a cross between like a Buck Cherry and the Gin Blossoms, which I'm not, for me, personally, I'm not specifically a fan of either of those bands. I mean, they're good. I mean, I don't own any of their music, but I know people love them, so I guess that's a good comparison, right? But Rex, if you listen to our album, though, I mean, we have... The songs are very personal to Rex, especially, like lyrically. He writes great melodies, which he always has, but he's got songs like, the song Who Are You? It's like that military vibe that we got going. He wrote about his father. I don't mean to speak for you, Rex. But there's a lot of personal stuff from his experiences of Crunch over here also. I don't want to step on his toes, but he's got a song on there, lyrically. He just writes stuff that...
attachment.
Yeah.
Write about what you know.
Exactly.
Rule number one.
We're not, there's some bands like Def Leppard, for example. I actually like Def Leppard, but I've heard them in interviews say where they just make stuff that rhymes, that has no meaning, but it sounds cool together. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not really us. Like, a lot of our, so I don't know that to answer your question, there's not like a theme. Like, every song kind of has its own, like, thing.
I was going to say, I can't pinpoint a sound for you guys, like to say you sound like this band or this band. You have a lot of influences I can hear, but you have your own sound because of that. You do have a unique
every song
sound.
has meaning to it. It's from the heart.
I like a song like that, and it actually there's a story behind it. There's, Rex, you sat down and actually told a story, like so far everything you've written about has a story. Speaking of which, I'm dying to get to this next song, but I want everyone to know where you came up with your name for the band. How did Rex become Stereo Rex?
That's on you, bro.
Well, so the original...
Crash, he doesn't talk much at all.
The original idea of the band, the first name we came up with was actually Stereo X, like the letter X.
Okay.
And Rex and I were kind of sold on that. And then I went to create like the Facebook page for it, and it turns out there was like 4 Stereo X's already that existed.
Oh.
I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. And then we kept just saying Stereo X. Watch, say it 3 times fast. Go ahead, Stereo X.
It comes out Stereo X, Stereo X, Stereo X.
It sounds like Stereo. I'm like, well,
Stereo X.
dude, your name is Rex. Like, let's go for like this whole like a Kid Rock thing where that's not his real name.
Everyone's gonna be saying that all night now. Right, Stereo X, Stereo X, Stereo X. Oh, it sounds. It comes out.
That's we
Just don't say it in the mirror
seriously.
because something might jump out.
Yeah, really. I
say it 3
believe in
times
Stereo
fast. Rex is so tiny he'll come out of your pocket.
Hey, watch.
Yeah.
So. So that's kind of the... But it's great because all of the onus is on him. So if there's ever any issues or problems, his name's on the kick drum. That's
right.
the joke.
There you go. Yeah. So tell us about the next piece, bud.
Dodging bullets. Actually, Crash or Crunch, you want to do that one? You wrote that song. You wrote the lyrics to that song. You wrote the lyrics to it.
I would just.
Did we put you on the spot?
I think so.
Well, yeah, it's just. I just thought about it. Situations where you're literally dodging bullets. You're in a bad situation, and how do you get out of it? And that's one of those. We were at the studio, or not at the studio, but just in a rehearsal space. Came up with a riff just on the spot, and next thing you know, the song's written. Besides the lyrics.
That's cool. It's powerful too.
So-
Well, let's check it out. Dodging Bullets by Stereo Rex.
You gotta run, but you keep on hiding. The truth has burned and leaves you undecided. Keep the hits coming, but you just keep running. Time to man up or become a slave. Hanging in the shadows, sneaking round the bend. Luck is on your side, but soon it's gonna end. In the devil's crosshair, bang, bang. Watching bullets fly. The game you're playing, now you're betting on your life. Get yourself pulled into dark situations. Could be the last time you see your love. There's no going back, the trust consumed you. Time to man up or become a slave. Hanging in the shadows, sneaking round the bend. Luck is on your side, but soon it's gonna end. In your devil's crosshairs, bang, bang. Watching bullets fly. The game you're playing, now you're betting on your life. How does it feel now that you've lost it all? You've been flirting with death all along. All you have now is the shirt on your back. It's time to man up or become afraid.
Welcome back, you guys. That was Dodging Bullets, and we're here with Studio Rex.
Stereo Rex.
Stereo
How
Rex
dare
in
you.
the studio. I'm trying to out of the studio, outside with Stereo Rex. Say it again. Say that all 10 times fast and see what happens. All right. Bleh.
Stereo X, stereo.
Okay, so tell me now, the big one, because I've had many of them. What is your biggest challenge?
Our biggest challenge, honestly, is our biggest asset. Along with it, it's getting four different people to be on the same page.
I got you.
Look at our music. Look at how we've written. We're four separate people. We've got four separate ideas, four separate thoughts, four separate feelings, which explains exactly what you were saying, James. Our CD, our newest CD, it's different genres. It's anything from southern rock to hard rock to alternative. It's
listening.
all easy listening. I guess all of our styles melded into one, and that's our biggest challenge, is getting us all on the same page. Our biggest asset is that pushback. That's what made us who we are.
But what's funny though is that in this band, we've had pretty minimal pushback. I mean, Rex and I were in a band together once before where everything was a conversation, like a trip to Denny's type conversation. So with this band, there's minimal pushback. I think, there could be some things that, like maybe some songs that, maybe one of or half of us really don't care for, but the other two love. So, it's like, okay, I can play that because my brother over there loves it, and guess what? He's going to return the favor.
Yeah, we compromise.
Yeah.
But we have to. There has to be compromise.
Yeah. But it's not even really even spoken, I guess. I mean, there's not. I mean, knock on wood, we don't really have like the dramatic. You hear all these bands with the fighting and the drama.
Well,
I think
we've had a couple of little spats, but.
Yeah, well, and again, comparing it to
there's no smoke, there's no fire. You got to have a little bit of it's got to come up there.
The spats make you work harder and be better at the same time.
Sure.
And like I said in the beginning, the spats, as we keep the thought that we are the band, we are Stereo Rex. Nothing is going to push us away from each other. We're brothers. And we're going to have those issues. We're going to have fight like brothers. We're going to argue like brothers. We're going to have pushbacks. And all of us are going to compromise. That's our biggest challenge. And like I said, that's our biggest asset. That's how we build what we have.
You guys are a tight unit, too. You guys act like brothers. You even kind of look like brothers. You do. You kind of look. But I got to sit down and watch these guys break bread tonight. And I tell you, it was like a little family. It was really cool. And since these guys are a family, I cannot keep them out all night because they have families to go home to also. So, you guys, I want to thank you so much for finally coming onto the show.
Thanks for having me.
Finally hunted down the elusive Rex Van Dyne. Oh, has he been a pain in the ass about this? Yeah, you at all? No, he just shows up and disappears. And no, it's so great that you guys, we all got to come out here and finally do some stuff. I will see you on the 19th.
Right here,
and
Tempe Marketplace.
There's some rumor in the air that I might even get up on stage and play a couple songs with you guys.
That would be a blast, brother. I
bring the bongos.
Absolutely.
Hey, while we're on that, just a little quick, it's one thing that does set us apart from most other bands out there. We actually have a guest mic, and we pretty much play live karaoke. Look at our set list. If there's something you know, or even if you think you know it, come on up, grab that mic. If you play an instrument, we're not,
you have an open door policy up there.
All I say is if you break it, you buy it.
There you go. That's
That's what we do.
We're not untouchable. Just come on up, have fun with us, man.
That's all you got to do. All right, you guys, thank you again so much. You guys want to take us out of here?
You got it.
I'm Crunch.
I'm Boom.
I'm Crash.
And I am, and we are
Stereo
Rex. And you are listening to
JC
Stark Radio.
Awesome, you guys. I will see you later. Peace, everybody. I'm out.
Deuces.